Hey guys, Stamina here, and I'm going to go over 10 tips on Anubis to really help you excel in your facets, 10 mans, scrims, matches, whatever it might be. These are some more advanced tips on the map that I don't think everybody is completely aware of at the moment, so I really hope this helps. If you like this type of content, feel free to give a like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be posting a lot more on YouTube in the near future. Also, head over to my Twitch and follow me there as well. I stream daily. I do analysis of different live professional and semi-professional matches. I do demo reviews. I play FPL, Face It, Pogs, whatever the case might be. I'm always looking to just kind of be more of the educational content in Counter-Strike that not too many people are doing. So yeah, if you want to support me elsewhere, I stream daily on Twitch. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Peace. All right, so for a while, a lot of teams were throwing just a standard Ebox smoke along the lines of this. This smoke is really good and it serves a purpose for sure, but there's actually something better that you can do in the current meta that'll like give you a bit more pressure as a T. So basically what you can throw is actually this smoke. This smoke is going to be a one-way in canal. So if you rush down here as a terrorist and you come up to the side of it, you have a really nice one-way to hold from right here. And on top of that, if you wanted to hold from back here, you still have a one-way. It's better if you use an op, but you can actually see over the one-way really well, and you can hold for anybody peeking here. Now, why this is really good is because in the previous meta, the T's were smoking this first, so the counter terrorists have like 2 more smokes, at least minimum, to re-smoke this choke point. But now, if we use the canal one way, we can get up here quicker and put more pressure on these players, maybe get flashed in and fight them. So it forces the counter terrorists to use a molly at an earlier timing, and then even potentially a smoke at an earlier timing. And so you're buying 2 nades out of the counter terrorist a lot quicker. Now it also has a dual purpose. If you throw this smoke, it takes away the vision from the Ebox player to see if like anybody's running up canal. But what it also does is it works as a double option. There's been a lot of teams that have played around with these timings in mid, but if you rush mid as a terrorist with a window smoke and you drop through the rat hole here, you actually get to Ebox at a much quicker timing. So there have been some really cool plays where people will have somebody come over here and they'll rip a flash into Ebox like this, and then they'll have a guy instantly rush mid, drop through the window, and he gets a much quicker timing. So the timing on the Ebox player is now in jeopardy because typically if he was waiting to Molotov, he's waiting for the timing of how long it would take for you to run all the way up like this. He would hear you running in the water, etc. But now, since you're dropping through here, the time is a lot quicker. So this canal smoke serves a couple different purposes, and this is really good smoke. So definitely try to add this to your game. It can help you in, your facets and whatnot. So this tip's actually a little bit more specific to A main defaulters or just a scenario where you know that there's an op or potentially pillar. This play is really nice on Anubis. At the moment, this is a very common spot to opt from. But there's a couple weaknesses with this spot. Number one, it's a left eye peek, and the terrorists have a right eye peek, which really benefits you in online Counter-Strike and even on LAN. But what's really strong about this position is, or what's really cool about this play is you can actually throw an HE off this wall like so. That's going to nade the opper who's playing here. But on top of nading it, nades blow up dust in their face. So it's going to hit the opper and it's going to slow them down. So if they whiff the shot, they try to like move away, but they're slowed, right? But on top of being slowed and having the HE dust on them, if you're timing it well, it's really hard for their vision. As you can see, the dust is kind of blown up there, and you can also, you're like doing like 40 to 50 damage to the opper when you do this. The first couple of nades I threw, I apologize. Like, you want to get them a little bit higher so they're landing more around here. But if they land roughly like that and there's an opper pillar, you're going to do like 30 to 40 damage, slow them, and you're going to blow dust in their face. This is going to give you a great advantage on this peak. And you can take out any opper that's posted on there really easily. So that's something that you should definitely add to your arsenal, especially if you're solo queuing on Face It or whatnot. So we kind of talked about how you can face A main if you think that there's somebody towards the pillar. But to even go a step further, a lot of teams and a lot of players and pogs and whatnot are going to want to play in A main. They're going to want to opt this angle, or they're even going to want to rifle around here. And there's just a lot of opportunity for the CTs to, find an opening pick by playing around here or playing aggressive in A main. There's a really cool nade set you can use to kind of flush them out. So what you want to do is come into this corner, crouch, and you're going to aim right here. From here, you're going to jump throw and that smoke is going to land and aim in. Now, while crouching still, you're going to aim to the right of this corner, and you're just going to come out roughly to here, okay? Now you're just going to move off the wall so you don't hit it, run, and jump throw. Run like 1 or 2 steps. Now, this Molotov is going to burn anybody off of this angle, and it actually extends to basket. It doesn't fully extend sometimes. You can maybe play around with it and find like a little bit more of a perfect lineup. But if you get it to fully extend to basket, that's great. But even if you don't, you can just have a teammate combo like a flash like this to clear out basket. Or you could even have a teammate throw a combo flash like this to clear out basket. And then you can go ahead and clear out aim in like that. Let it aim a little bit more to the right for that flash. My apologies. A little bit more like, I think it's up from like here to here. So use this combo to help take aim in. So another great tip on this map is controlling mid with a deeper mid smoke that lands right here and a Molotov that comes over towards door. So at the beginning of the meta, you saw a lot of people just smoking off window normally, but this smoke actually gives you a lot more opportunity. So what you're going to do is you're going to aim your crosshair where the leaf meets the left side of this brick, okay? And you're actually going to throw a left and right click jump throw, okay? Now, you could follow it up with this nice Molotov right here, Molotov door, or you could just run up and you could just do it the old-fashioned way. Either way, you're going to get the same exact thing done. Now, what's really nice about this is once you progress up mid, you have this smoke here. So you're able to like insert over here. But what's really important to note is that anybody playing behind this door is actually extremely at risk of being spammed. So this spam is like paper thin, and you can kill anybody here very easily. So while you have the cover of this smoke, you can have one person spam like this, and if you're playing with like a duo or with your team, somebody else can be on this side of window as that spam's coming through. So if you spam roughly around the time that this smoke's going to fade, now you have somebody over on the left side of window, and you have door spammed. Now, if you wanted to go a step further, it can get even better if you have a good teammate who can help support you. They can throw a Molotov towards camera from outside of A, and now you're already here. This is clear. Molly comes through, and now you have a right eye peek under the guy playing from temple side. And this is a very difficult angle to play from as an opper because you kind of have to worry about both peaks. So you guys can easily double peek them and overrun them in mid. So definitely try to add this smoke into your play. It'll help you a lot with mid control. So this next tip is for mid. Now, something you're going to see a lot is you're going to see CT players throwing a smoke along the lines of this very commonly at the start of every round. Especially you're going to see this in like pro play or semi-pro play or, you know, in your matches. But in pugs, you'll probably see this as well. Now, a lot of people will like flash and go through or spam battle with the CTs or even try to throw their nade set. But one thing that's really strong is if you have one other person that can help you do the boost, you can actually boost over this smoke. And you can get a nice line over top of the smoke, wait for it to land. And you can see towards door and window. And oftentimes players will be like spamming, right? And then they'll reload and then they'll re-peek and spam. And they don't expect you to be up there. So while you're up here, one, you could find an easy kill, but you could even go a step further and you could have a teammate walk through as you do this. So they think that they're safe at mid because they have a smoke down, but we know that we're completely safe to walk through. And you could get a really nice timing on a lurk into mid and get a kill onto camera, or you could just catch somebody off guard, temple side coming through double door, or maybe even somebody's playing more passive, just kind of like jiggling the walk up, and they don't expect you to be through. So this is a really nice tip that you can use, not only to find an opening, like I said, but just to support your teammate to take mid control without having to use nades every single round, because sometimes you're not going to have as many nades depending on your economy and whatnot. So the next tip I want to show you guys is a tip for canal and Ebox control. This is a really cool play that you can make if you want to aggressively take Ebox. Oftentimes the CTs are going to refill mollies and smokes here as long as possible. Usually, you know, 2 mollies, 2 smokes at minimum. And so this is a way that you guys can actually like force your way into Ebox if you want to kind of beat out that timing. So what you can do is throw this smoke. So you're going to stand in this corner, aim at the top of this line, and jump throw while crouching. After that, you're going to aim right here, and you're going to run till you hit this white line, and you're going to flash. Okay, whoops. A little bit more of a run. And this flash is going to land right inside of Ebox, and it's going to pop really quickly. And they can't hear it coming from Ebox. So with this, you can send a T-bait into Ebox. But the cool part about this is this smoke even goes a step further. You can actually walk through and one-way it out towards pillar. So let me go ahead and throw this smoke one more time just so you can see how this one-way kind of works. But it's a really nice little lurk smoke you can use. And oftentimes you don't see players playing around pillar once this smoke comes in. They want to push B main, or maybe they fall back to plat or something. So oftentimes this lurk is actually going to work out pretty well for you. But you can actually walk through this smoke and push in like this. And you have a really nice fight onto temple if anybody's peeking from there. You have a really nice fight onto back plat. And you can kind of just walk into the bomb site at this point. And you can make a really nice lurk play. So another great tip for attacking the B site from the canal / Ebox area is how to throw utility from outside of Ebox. So this is actually really important because sometimes the nades that you'll have left over will be coming from players who are defaulting canal or mid or A main rather, and it's easier to like use them from outside of Ebox. So let's just say hypothetically we have Ebox control. We've got a couple of guys coming B main and we want to split B. The most important smoke at this point is definitely the temple smoke, and we probably want to plat molly as well for our players coming B main. So how we can do this is we can actually come right here, line up just like so, and then we're going to click down our smoke, and we're going to take our pointer finger, and we're going to put it on the tip of this leaf right here, and then we're going to jump throw. Now, while that smoke's flying in, somebody who is inside of Ebox already can throw a really nice plat Molotov by standing back here and aiming at this rock and run throwing. This Molotov will now land to the back of platform, and it'll burn out the plat and this pillar. So now once you come through Ebox, you pretty much only have to worry about this pillar and then wrapping the site and clearing here. On top of this, obviously your teammates could sync up a left side smoke or preferably a deep spawn smoke. But at the end of the day, even a flash will suffice in this situation if you don't have full utility. So add this smoke and molly in if you're trying to split through Ebox, and it'll really help you out a ton. So this next tip takes at least one other person to help you out by dropping you an extra HE grenade. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to target this player who plays around here. Like we talked about before in some of the other tips, it's very common for CTs to re-smoke off Ebox and re-molly Ebox from right here. So if you know that somebody's doing this, it's really in your favor to try to put a little bit of damage on them, right? So from outside of B main, you can actually throw double HEs. So this little slit right here in the ground, I can't drop nades in this refrag server, is really easy for like dropping nades on it. So if you come right here and you drop an HE and then you get another HE from a teammate, it won't typically roll. And now you can do a really nice little maneuver where you're going to aim on the right side of this second little shape here, and you're just going to throw jump throws. And you're going to throw one after another. And this very easily double HEs anybody who's playing from here spotting. Because even while they have a smoke up, it's very common for them to play from here. Just in case they get pop flash, they can jump away, right? So they're going to typically play from outside, and these double HEs can really do a lot of damage. Now this can also be used in a different sense, where you can actually use a Molotov in the same exact lineup, and then you could combo that Molotov with a flash through Ebox like we showed in a previous tip. So if you wanted to take Ebox a different way without using a smoke right here, you could combo that molly and flash, come through, and very easily clear anybody close pillar if you wanted to do a nice little B split. So try to add the HEs in a solo queue and see how that works for you. So this next tip is also for the B bomb site, and I wanted to explain something that I don't think so many players who play a little bit more casually understand. So this can really help you a lot. Right now, a lot of people are in between smoking spawn and smoking left side. And I don't think people fully grasp like the difference and the benefits of each smoke. So I actually want to explain it really quick. When you smoke spawn like this, you're open to all these different areas that can fight. This guy can hold Ebox. They can peek here. You know, obviously there's a lot of room to work here. And as a T, if you don't molly all of this out or account for it with flashes, there's a lot of ways that you can die. But if you're coming heavy through Ebox, like let's say 2 to 3 people coming through Ebox, this is really good because now their pathing is typically going to be like this and wrapping the site, and they can take this player out, assuming that we've smoked temple as well. So what's really important to know is that this smoke actually will cover all of this stuff if you're not coming heavy through Ebox, okay? If you're coming heavy through main. So that's really beneficial. But what's even better about this smoke that I'm not sure people fully abuse yet is if you actually throw this smoke like this and you entry out main and you guys go into the site. Whoops. My lineup was a little bit off. Sorry. Got to go in the middle of this. If you throw this smoke and you come out main and you jump up on here once you guys are out, you can actually hold the temple rotation. So it serves like a multitude of purposes. One, it blocks off temple. So if you guys are coming heavy through B main, you don't even need to smoke this. And on top of that, you could follow it up with just a molly behind, and then you have more smokes for the late round. But what's so strong about this smoke is you can actually one-way it. So once people do rotate back in, you're holding that line over top of the smoke, and you're able to kind of like fend off their retake a lot easier. And it's really difficult for them to kind of come in and see if you're there, or, you know, throw some sort of like flash and kind of fight you. This would probably be the best way that you would counter it as a CT if you knew that teams were doing this, but it's pretty hard to have that forethought when you're playing like a face it pug or whatnot. So try to use this left side smoke as much as you guys can, unless you're doing heavy hits through Ebox. Another great tip I can give you guys for Anubis is to let you guys know that there's actually a ton of smokes you can throw across the map from spawn. So this, for example, is a really great smoke you can throw if you want to add this into a rush next time you're playing Anubis towards the B-bomb site. So what you're going to do is come in this corner and wedge in. You're going to aim down from this green leaf here to about the middle of this trim, okay? Now you're going to run, and then you're going to start shift walking when you get close, and you're going to shift walk till you hit the the crease in the brick here, and then you're going to jump through. Now this definitely does take some practice, and there's even a good chance I might miss it here. I might have went a little bit too far, but as you can see, it drops down here and it smokes into Ebox. Now I went a little bit too far, and that's why it went deeper like that, so it made that weird kind of smoke. The trick is you need to release earlier, not later, and that's kind of why I messed up. So this one, let's see if I get it properly, and there we go. So you can see it pre-smokes off Ebox. Now this lands so quickly that if we're rushing B main, it's gonna be here the second we turn this corner, okay? So this is a really advantageous smoke, but you can actually combo this with one other person throwing a rush smoke like this. You're gonna come in this corner, you're gonna aim, pretend that this window is blocked by the wall here, and this is all you have for the hole here. And you're going to go directly center of that small hole and jump throw. And this is going to land as a fast left side smoke that we spoke about earlier in the video. So in combination, these two smokes give you a very powerful B rush. And then you can obviously just finish it up by smoking any B main molly that they throw. And some really nice support flashes you can throw is just aiming right here and W jump throwing a couple times. These flashes will pop very high in the air, and they're not going to blind you when you're coming in initially, or actually once you're even in, they still won't blind you because they're popping above you like this. So they're going to give you like a 25% blind, but they're very nice for you as you're rushing in, because the CTs in comparison are very blind, whether they're temple or whether they're spawn side or whether they're close or whether they're even pillar. They can have a lot of strength as support flashes. So hopefully these nades from spawn will help you guys out in some sort of face it pug or match or whatever the case might be. You only really need 2 people to make it happen. It's pretty easy to just tell somebody to smoke the B main molly as you guys are rushing, and then throw these 2 smokes. So hopefully you guys can use these in your future games.